Heidi ho, guys and gals, it's Red, your friendly neighborhood tool bear, back again, or maybe I should say RV bear, because yes, if you've been following the channel, you may have heard we recently purchased an RV. Now, we haven't gotten our grubby little paws on it quite yet. That's going to happen here in a couple weeks, but I wanted to do this video for two reasons. A, I'm getting a lot of people asking, why are you buying an RV? What are you going to do with it? And secondly, I got a lot of people asking, hey, can you tell me about the RV buying experience? What are you buying and how should I buy it? Is now a good time to buy? And that's really, the too long didn't read kind of thing is, yes, buy it now, buy it right now. Don't wait until the end of February. Don't even wait till mid-February, because right now is about the only time you're going to get a decent price on an RV this year. And I'll explain that as we go along. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a timestamp down below for those of you who don't want to hear the backstory or the channel update as to what's going on with the old bear family here. I get it. Just go straight to the RV stuff about buying the RV and prices and whatnot. There's the timestamp for you down there. For everyone else, sit back, enjoy the ride. Let's jump into it here, okay? So this is the RV, or at least the same model and stuff of the RV that we bought. This is a 2019 Forest River Wildwood 32 BHDS. Now, this is not our first endeavor into RVing. In fact, I grew up with my grandparents shuttling me back and forth over the summers between Arizona and Iowa in an RV. It was a great time. It was great adventures when I was younger. We started with a class, it was a travel trailer, in fact, an Airstream like this. Eventually got into a Class C and then up to a Class A. So I've been able to dip my toes in all the three major, modes of RV travel. But RVing used to be a huge thing in the United States, but then in the 70s, 80s, 90s, it really died off, and really you only saw retirees and such who were doing it. But two things changed in the last 20 years that have really brought the RVing not just back from the dead, but into just roaring to life. And that, of course, is first off was the subprime market fiasco in 2008, when just unfortunately hundreds of thousands of people lost their homes. It was a ridiculous, situation for the banks to get us into. But, a lot of people lost interest with the whole concept of the typical American dream and decided, we don't need a house and we're going to live out of an RV. And that's where the full-time RV kind of concept came about. And people started doing just that. And then also on the other end, besides there's the regular people, younger people coming into it who are typically would be house buyers, are forget that. We're just going to go van life with it until we figure out what's going on, because we don't want to invest in a house now and have it taken away from us once we get fully settled and have kids and whatnot. And then the number two of the 1-2 punch on this, of course, was, well, we all know what that was, don't we? And that changed life in the U.S. and around the world forever. In fact, it forced a lot of people out of that office and into the home workplace. And people realized, if I have a laptop, a cell phone, and a webcam, and internet connection, I can work from anywhere, can't I? And that begat the concept of the digital nomad, the person who could either run their own business or work for a business from anywhere. And if it can be anywhere, why not go anywhere and enjoy that kind of lifestyle? That led to the news finally catching on. Why are people buying RVs? Well, duh. And the market went insane. This is an article from October 2021. September was the biggest month on record. If only that were just the only month on record. It's gotten crazy. Is there a nationwide RV shortage? Well, duh. Anybody who's driven by an RV park or sales lot will know that. We've been looking for an RV for a couple of years now. And, typically this is what an RV sales lot used to look like. And this is what it looks like these days. There's just no selection out there. Now, it's slowly coming back. But again, that's slowly. Thor Industries racked up $14 billion in back orders. They said they were 6 months to a year out, and that was in June of 2021. It's only gotten worse since then. Oh my gosh. This is the RV industry trade mag here. And they talk about February 2021, record sales, March record sales, April record sales, May, each month beating the last month all the way through to November, which is the last month they have reports for. And again, new record November sales. It's ridiculous. The market's going crazy. So prices are up, whether you're buying new or used, whether you're buying from a dealer or from an individual, the prices on RVs have gone through the roof. So why would we want to buy an RV now? Well, for those of you who know, who've been around the channel, we typically spend about half the year in Vegas. And you're sitting there going, why would you go to Vegas? What aren't you in Montana? Don't you own a house in Montana? And yes, we do own our home in Montana outright, no payments, everything. And we're big advocates of trying not to have any kind of payments. We like to own things outright. And we love Montana, whether it's here in the summer. This is the little girl watching the water and the fish and stuff. Griffin out there watching his big brother here, learning how to fly fish. It's a great time in Montana in the summer, isn't it? And you know what? We even love Montana in the winter. It's always a beautiful place to be, and we love it here. But we do spend half the year in Vegas. Now, why? Well, the short answer is family. We have a extended kind of complicated family situation. For those of you who aren't familiar with the channel, this is my older son Duncan over here, and he is my son through my first marriage with his mom here, Amanda. This is her brother, aka my brother, who you've seen on the channel maybe once or twice. I like to say my little brother, Evan. Of course, our two current cousins, that's my wife, Jessie, over there. And this is Evan's significant other over here. So again, but why Vegas? Well, this is where Amanda lives. She lives in Vegas, and that's a complicated story we'll get into in a little bit. But we try to get Duncan up here. Basically we try to be down there for 6 months out of the year and then have him here for 3 months out of the year. And then any other time we can get him up here, like for hunting season and stuff like that. Or even I go down there in the off season stuff, basically trying to be the father and be there, as much. I can't be there 100%, but we try to get it as close to 100% as possible. Now, we did used to live in California. This was our home there. And Amanda and I both decided about the same time that California was a sinking ship. We wanted to get out of there, so we sold our home. Here, this is King Realty. I'm not a realtor. We sold the home ourselves, saved a little bit of cash doing so. A little bit. Saved a huge chunk of cash doing so. If you have any questions about what it's like to sell your own home, let me know down in the comments. Maybe I'll do a video on that. Anyway, or if you just want some information on it, feel free to email me. I'll answer you when I can. But that said, we decided, as the two families came together, and the one place we could agree on, we tried to get them to move up to Montana, but the one place we could agree on was Las Vegas. Now, when we decided to move to Las Vegas, we weren't sure about where we wanted to live in Las Vegas. So first thing we did was we bought an RV. We'd been wanting one. We got a Class A. And we drove all over the Western U.S. in this thing, and we weren't driving. We were staying at Oasis RV Resort in Las Vegas, which is, if you get a chance to stay there, I'm not affiliated with them. I don't get a kickback, nothing. We just absolutely love that place. The people who stay there are so nice. It is legitimately a resort in Las Vegas. It's right at the end of the strip. Anyway, it is a great place. We should talk more about that later. But that said, we did eventually end up renting a house in Las Vegas. In fact, we've had 2 houses in Las Vegas, and because of the housing market in Las Vegas, both houses got sold out from underneath us. So we got to a point of, we don't want to try and rent another house because the same thing is going to happen. Also, rental prices are ridiculous. So what about buying a house? Well, I don't want to buy in the market in Las Vegas right now because buying prices are ridiculous. Although I did find this one here, which I think it's reasonable at just under $4 million. It's got its own lazy river that winds through the whole estate. It's got a couple of pools. It's got its old gold mining town there. Anyway, it's just, I figure if maybe somebody wants to, we got the water slide. If somebody wants to set up a GoFundMe, we can all go in on this together. We can pick up this for, come on, it's totally worth it. Anyway, enough daydreaming. We looked at Airbnb. Airbnb would be an option for temporary stay. Maybe we can rent a house for 3 months at a time. Well, we looked at that. You're looking at, for a house that can house a reasonably sized family and stuff, an average price between $2,000 to $5,000, $6,000. I figured out around $3,000. Best case scenario is going to be $3,000. $3,000 for 6 months is $18,000 that we would just be throwing away. And we didn't want to do that. We're not those kind of people. If you've been around the channel at all, that's not the way we deal with our money. So that led us back to, what about the RV life? Could we just stay in an RV 3 months at a time, stay at one of the RV resorts in Vegas? It could be fun, exciting. We get to stay, spend time with my son, get the kids together, and then come back to Montana for 6 months out of the year and live the Montana life, and maybe even have an RV for doing some traveling in between. So the first thing we looked at was a Class A, and we love Class A's. We had a Class A, but here's the truth about a Class A. First of all, they're ridiculously expensive because you're buying essentially a large bus with a motor, transmission, suspension, all of that with an RV on top of that. So you're buying the two together, you're combining the price. And honestly, they don't have a ton of living space. This is about the best case you're going to get for a Class A that can sleep an entire family. You got a couple bunks over here, a sofa bed down here. Great for the parents in the king bed back here and whatnot. But this is a really small area. And, ultimately we decided it's too expensive with not enough living space if you're going to stay in it long term. Some people do it, but that's not the way we wanted to do it. All right, next up was a fifth wheel. Now, if you remember, we bought this truck, which is a Ram 3500 Cummins diesel, with the idea that we wanted to buy a fifth wheel. And a fifth wheel, they're big, they're well built, they have a ton of setups that can be great for the family. We like this setup here, which is called a mid bunk. So you got the master bedroom up here. You got a bunk or bunk room here in the middle, which is actually an entire kids room. They can shut the door. You can shut the door over here, there. That's what we really wanted. We wanted to have the whole concept of 3 living areas, one for the kids, one for the parents, and then a commons area. And this fits that perfectly. So why didn't we get a fifth wheel? Well, the first thing, again, is cost. Cost on fifth wheel, a really nice big fifth wheel is stupidly expensive. $175, $170, $130, $100. We're talking a lot of price. And we didn't want to finance this. We wanted to pay cash, be done with it, and walk away and not have any kind of debt. Now, could you buy something older? I mean, that's the highest price. Let's sort by lowest price. So let's see here. Let me hit lowest price. Look at this. We got some great prices here. There's $10,000. $12,500 for a 2004 Eagle 32. That's a decent price on a decent sized rig there. Well, I know a lot of you are going to know the answer to this one. And the issue is this. It's called the 10-year rule. Many RV parks, in fact, I would say at this point, it's most RV parks have implemented the 10-year rule, which is if you want to stay there, especially if you want to stay there long term, your RV has to be 10 years old or newer. The reason being, too many people living in their RVs, buying old, cheap, ragged out RVs and making their RV parks look trashy. And they don't like the look of that. They don't like some of the people who are doing it. So they use this rule to pick and choose and discriminate. And that's, that's their right. It's their business. They can do what they want. So what can you get then in a fifth wheel that is at least going to last, like, the boys in high school? So we need this thing to last for 4 years. It has to be able to be parked in an RV park for 4 years and still get by the 10-year rule, which means it can't be older than a 2016. And our budget really is, without digging too deep into our savings, the most we were willing to spend was $25,000. And here's what we get here looking at that. For 24, we can get this Starcraft. It's 2016. 26, and we're already over our budget here. There was one in the entire United States that fell within our budget. And that one wasn't really all that big. If we look at the floor plan on this it only gets us nothing. We have a entertainment center. We have kind of a queen bed area over here. The kids are in bunk beds open to the rest of the living area. Could you do it? Yes. But is it going to be comfortable? No. And do you get that real division of living spaces that we're looking for? We didn't feel so. So that means we're looking at a travel trailer. That's the third major class. All right. So there are some really big travel trailers. And we have this style here, which is called a destination travel trailer. Now, the thing about these are essentially think of it as a mobile home light. They don't have any holding tanks usually. They're not designed to be boondocked or really towed around all that much. They're really designed to be taken to a place that you own the land there. You bring it there, you park it, you set it up, and you leave it. And that's really what they're designed for. And honestly, they're mostly designed for, again, retirees or kind of stuff like, usually you see a 1-bedroom setup and that, really not what we're looking for. Then you have what's kind of like a destination light, something like this. This is a Forest River Wildwood 36 VBDS, and we looked at these heavily. So it has a lot of the same setup and features. You got the sliding glass door, huge setup. You got kids' bedroom up front, parents' bedroom in the back, huge living area, slide outs on the other side. But there's some downsides. This is not real storage. This is pass-through storage into the kids' room. There's no other underneath storage. There's no outdoor kitchen. There's missing a lot of the features that most people would want from an RV. Here's the kind of the floor plan of that RV. You got this L-shaped booth area up front, which is actually really nice. You can fold down a couch underneath into a queen bed. You got 2 bunk beds up top. The newer models come with the Versa Lounge, which I wish we could have gotten one of the newer ones, but I really like the Versa Lounge, but we missed out on that. You have a big queen bedroom in the back here, a huge bathroom, nice big living area. It's great. Again, it says exterior storage, not really, because that's going into this room here. And again, no kitchen. So what we settled on was this, which is, as I said before, the Wildwood 32 VBDS. Another issue, which I didn't mention before on this one, is it's nearly 40 feet long, which is too big for a lot of places. This one comes in at 35 feet and sneaks into a lot of the parks. That's usually a cut, for the bigger ones, that's the bigger cutoff that we've seen. And, with the truck on top of that, we're already at, 20 feet plus, with the truck. So that puts us at 55 versus, 60 feet overall. This is the floor plan that we're looking at. We have the queen bedroom up front. We got a nice door there that closes. We have a big living area here, a big U-shaped dinette, a 3-seat couch. We have the nice kitchen area over here. The one thing I don't like is the fridge that comes with it. We're going to be doing an upgrade on that fridge. A decent sized bathroom with a dual entrance. That was something else that was important to us. We love the ability of the kids to walk in straight into the bathroom, be able to use that, go in and out, that kind of stuff when they're outdoors, or use it as a mudroom when you're coming in, that kind of thing. The kids have a huge back area, so if they have friends over, that kind of stuff. Also, we homeschool, so it's going to be set up as a classroom, and it has a massive outdoor kitchen. Now, we're paying just over $24 on this after negotiations and everything. And if you see right now, current retail on this is $25,600 on the low end. Now, as far as the specs, because I know people are going to ask that, let me go over here to the specifications. And we can see it sleeps 10. It's got a number 2 slide outs. The base weight on this is 7,993 pounds. It can carry an additional 3,000 pounds on top of that. Hitch weight is 858. It's got 2 axles, a 13,500 BTU AC, and a 2,500 BTU air conditioner, or I should say heater. My bad. Anyway, there's always a compromise when it comes to RVs. I know I'm going to get a lot of people going, "You're stupid. You should have bought this. You're stupid. You're going to do that." I mean, it's YouTube. The trolls are the trolls. But, you have to choose which compromises are important to you, which ones you can't compromise on. For us, it was having the 3 living spaces, the outdoor kitchen, additional storage, and making it, we wanted something big, but yet not so big that we didn't feel comfortable towing it when we did want to tow it to, say, go boondocking or something like that. That ruled out the destination trailers and stuff like that. Honestly, if it was something that we were going to tow all the time and we were just going to use for camping, we would go with a 5th wheel. In fact, that one I showed you, that 2016, would be a fabulous choice for weekend or even week or 2-week camping with the kids. But for long-term stays, that's why we need that separation kind of stuff. Because, the 5th wheels, they tow better, they're more secure, they're safer, and Class A's, I love Class A's. Class A's are great for when you're traveling. When you're the driver and you're driving down the road in the Class A and somebody can lay back on the couch and you can pull over right there and immediately Class A's are fantastic for traveling. 5th wheels, though, give you the best of both worlds. And I think eventually down the road, after the son is, after Duncan's finished high school, I think the plan is probably to sell this and then get a smaller 5th wheel that'll be a little bit more towable and that we can get around, to all the places we really want to go with. But, for shorter stays, that kind of thing. Anyway, I hope that answered your questions. We're going to do a walkthrough on the trailer once we actually pick it up. So you'll get actual pictures and stuff. You can put that all together. If you got any other questions about RVs and such, put it down in the comments below. Again, thanks again for being patient with this one. I just wanted to answer a lot of questions here and give you some more details because I know a lot of you have been talking about RVs. And I've been getting, ever since the post about us getting an RV, I've been inundated with RV questions. I just wanted to answer them all in one fell swoop. So there you go. Anyway, don't forget to chomp the old like button, smash the subscribe, ring the bell on the way out. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.